Brandon laughed the night Cedric's car finally gave out in the employee parking lot. Cedric had been trying to start it for 10 minutes when Brandon walked past. The engine coughed, then died again. Brandon looked at the faded paint, the cracked bumper, then at Cedric's janitorial shirt. "Still driving that thing?" Cedric kept one hand under the hood. "Still gets me where I need to go." Brandon noticed a few people nearby and got louder. "You clean a building full of successful people every night. You ever think about letting some of that success rub off on you?" People laughed. Cedric looked at him. "Every night." Brandon grinned. "Whatever you say, boss." The truth was, Cedric really was struggling. 41 years old, recently divorced, working nights from 6 until 2. Driving a car he had bought for $900. His rent was late, the transmission was failing, and after bills, groceries, gas, and helping support his teenage daughter, there wasn't much left. He wasn't secretly rich. No inheritance was coming. Brandon saw a broke janitor standing beside a dead car and assumed he understood Cedric's life. He understood the present. What he couldn't see was what Cedric might become. Working after hours gave Cedric something he had never had before, a front row seat to business. He saw suppliers arrive, invoices on desks, managers reviewing proposals, and teams celebrating new accounts. Then one night he overheard that a single commercial cleaning contract was worth more than $5,000 a month. Cedric stopped pushing his cart. $5,000? His entire monthly paycheck wasn't even half of that. For years he had only thought about being the person doing the cleaning. That night he started wondering about the person selling it. Cedric began researching commercial cleaning, pricing, insurance, supplies, taxes, equipment, finding customers. Nobody handed him a business plan. He built one question at a time. He wasn't dreaming about becoming rich. His goal was one paying customer. It took 3 months to save $800. Then he registered Prime Core Building Services. The name sounded much bigger than the company. At that point, Prime Core was Cedric, his old car, a vacuum, a few supplies, and a box of business cards. Cedric spent Saturdays visiting dental offices, insurance agencies, accounting firms, and medical practices. Most said no. Some barely listened. At one office, someone accepted his card, smiled, then dropped it in the trash before Cedric reached the door. He saw it through the glass. Cedric stood outside, embarrassed, then walked into the next building. 6 weeks later, a physical therapy clinic called. They needed cleaning twice a week, $750 a month. It wasn't enough to quit his job, but it was his first customer. Cedric kept cleaning the corporate building until 2 in the morning, then twice a week cleaned the first account that belonged to Prime Core. Brandon noticed the supplies a few weeks later. "What's all this?" "My cleaning company." Brandon looked at the faded sedan, the vacuum, and the buckets. Then he laughed. "So what are you now, CEO of a mop bucket?" Cedric smiled. "Something like that." Brandon loved the line and repeated it around the building. Soon Cedric heard, "Morning, CEO, and how's the mop empire?" He let them laugh. Because while they were laughing, Prime Core signed a second account, then a third. Building Prime Core was nothing like Cedric imagined. His first hired cleaner quit by text before a shift. One customer took 45 days to pay. Cedric underbid another job so badly that every visit cost him money. Some mornings he slept in his car before driving home. He was working harder than ever and still barely getting ahead. There were nights Cedric wondered if he had built a company or simply invented a more exhausting way to stay poor. Then the sedan died for good. Smoke came from under the hood while Cedric was carrying vacuums and cleaning supplies to a job. He pulled over and sat there staring through the windshield. He was tired, broke, and beginning to wonder whether Brandon had been right. Maybe this really was just a mop bucket with paperwork. Then his phone rang. His first clinic had recommended PrimeCorp to a medical practice expanding to 3 locations. They wanted Cedric to submit a proposal. The contract looked too big for him. Cedric almost passed. Instead, he sent the bid. PrimeCorp won the account. Cedric hired 2 dependable people, then 4. He bought a used cargo van with 112,000 miles on it. The driver's seat was torn, and one door stuck when it rained. Cedric thought it was beautiful. For the first time in years, every bill was current. 2 years after Brandon called him the CEO of a mop bucket, Cedric gave notice at his old job. Brandon caught him near the elevator. "So the mop empire finally taken off?" Cedric smiled. "Keeping me busy." Brandon shook his hand. "Good luck, man. Seriously." Cedric recognized the tone, the kind of good luck people gave when they expected never to hear your name again. PrimeCorp grew slowly. An apartment complex, a medical group, warehouses, commercial properties. Cedric learned not to underbid work just to win it. He learned cash in the bank mattered more than looking successful. He also remembered what it felt like to be invisible. At PrimeCorp, cleaners were treated like people whose work mattered. 3 employees became 11. 11 became 26. 1 van became 3, then 6. By year 7, PrimeCorp serviced properties across 3 counties. Cedric wasn't famous. He didn't live like a celebrity. His success was reliable payroll, profitable contracts, money in reserve, and customers who renewed. More importantly, banks now considered his company a serious business. Then Victor called. Victor owned Northline Facility Services, the same company that had once employed Cedric as a janitor. After nearly 30 years, Victor wanted to retire. Cedric assumed he wanted subcontracting help. Instead, Victor slid a folder across the desk. "I think you should buy Northline." Cedric laughed. "Victor, I don't have that kind of money." Victor didn't laugh. "You might have more ability than you think." Over the next 6 weeks, Cedric reviewed contracts, assets, payroll, debt, customers, and financing. Buying Northline stopped sounding impossible. Cedric learned he didn't need the entire purchase price in cash. PrimeCorp had 7 years of profitable financial statements, recurring contracts, and assets. Cedric used company savings for part of the down payment. A lender financed much of the acquisition. Victor agreed to finance part of the remaining balance himself. Cedric almost walked away twice because he refused to destroy PrimeCorp just to own something bigger. Finally, the numbers worked. On a rainy Thursday morning, Cedric signed the agreement. PrimeCorp acquired Northline Facility Services. That evening, he sat alone looking at the documents. For some reason, he remembered an old parking lot and Brandon laughing, "CEO of a mop bucket." Cedric smiled. He hadn't thought about Brandon in years. What he didn't know was that Brandon still worked at Northline. Northline employees received an email Friday, mandatory company meeting. Monday, 9 o'clock, new ownership announcement. Brandon arrived early. Over the years, he had become a regional sales manager with a good salary, a nice car, and a nice office. At 9, Victor entered with Cedric behind him. Brandon recognized Cedric immediately but didn't understand why he was there. "I used to work with that guy," he whispered to someone nearby. Victor spoke about retirement and wanting Northline in capable hands. Then he turned toward Cedric. "I'd like everyone to meet the new owner of Northline Facility Services, Cedric." Brandon stopped moving. The smile disappeared. The room applauded while Brandon stared. Cedric saw him but didn't smirk. He simply walked to the front and addressed the employees, professional and calm. The same man Brandon remembered standing beside that broken-down car. Except now, Cedric owned the company Brandon worked for. Brandon waited until almost everyone left. "You really bought this place?" "Yeah." Brandon looked around. "I guess that little cleaning business worked out." Cedric smiled. "It did all right?" Brandon gave a nervous laugh. CEO of a mop bucket. Cedric remembered the parking lot instantly. The mop bucket did all right too. Brandon looked down. Cedric, I know I used to give you a hard time. You did. I was younger. You were. Brandon hesitated. You gonna hold that against me? Cedric looked toward the offices. No, but you taught me something. Brandon frowned. Me? You showed me how easy it is to disrespect somebody when you're convinced they'll never be in a position to matter to you. So I built my company where we don't do that. Cedric held out his hand. Brandon shook it. No firing. No public humiliation. Cedric didn't need revenge. Life had already made the point. 8 years earlier, Brandon saw a $900 car, a janitor's uniform, and a man struggling to pay his bills and assumed he was looking at Cedric's destination. He was looking at the starting line. One customer became 3. 3 became 20. An old car became a fleet. An employee became an employer. And eventually, the man they mocked as the CEO of a mop bucket bought the company that once paid him to empty theirs. Cedric never built PrimeCore to prove Brandon wrong. He built it because he was tired of living a life he knew he could change. Brandon just happened to be there when the tables turned. Sometimes that's the sweetest revenge. You don't chase it. You keep building until the people who laughed at your beginning have to witness what you became.